Hey guys, this is question MM116 of the Maths Methods Fortify study guide. Today we're dealing with composite functions. So we've got this question: consider the functions f of x equals root x plus 1 and g of x equals 2 cos x, where our domain for f of x is negative 1 to infinity and our domain for g of x is negative a to a. We're trying to find what's the maximum value of a for which f of g of x exists. So if f of g of x exists, this is our composite function, rule, I guess. If f of g of x exists, the range of this must be a subset of the domain of this, okay? So this bit here must be a subset of this. Now, at the moment, our range of g of x is negative 2 to 2, and we can tell that because our amplitude of g of x is 2, and the midpoint is 0, so it goes from negative 2 to 2, from minimum to maximum. We need to restrict our domain of g of x so that the range is restricted, which means that it will be a subset of f of x. Okay, so these numbers need to change so that this changes, and when this changes to be a subset of this, then the function will exist. This is not inside this because negative 2 is not, negative 2 is not between negative 1 and infinity. So this is not this is not a function that exists yet. So we basically need to find the largest range possible of this in order to have it as a subset of this. So if we can change the range of g of x to negative 1 to 2, then this will now be in the domain of f of x. This will be a subset of this because all of the numbers in this interval lie between negative 1 to infinity. So we need to find out how to create a y value of negative 1 in g of x. So what we do is we simply sub in negative 1 for g of x. So we get negative 1 equals 2 cos x. So it means negative 1 over 2 equals cos x, which means that x is equal to 2 pi over 3, which means when we change x to 2 pi on 3, that means that we get a y value of negative 1, which means that the range of g of x is now in the subset of the domain of the domain of f of x, which means that our value for a is 2 pi on 3, because our a reflects our x values in this domain, which means that if x equals 2 pi on 3, a equals 2 pi on 3. So that means that our answer is C. If you have any questions, guys, as always, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, have a great day.